right, Pick Central, Barstool's daily gambling show. The dream team today, me and Big Ev. Big Ev looking like that's a wild shirt.
Good shirt.
That's
a tiger. Like
that shirt's busy.
Tiger King.
That shirt is busy as hell. It is. It's playing all kinds of games. So it is me and Big Ev. We're talking college football, pro football, baseball, all kinds of picks and stuff. Rico is in Pick'em right now, so hopefully his life is turning out well for him. He should be here the second half of the show. Ben Mintz, I got a text on Monday that he was going to the Ole Miss Kentucky game on Saturday, so he wouldn't be returning from New Orleans because it wouldn't make sense to come back on Monday and then go back down on Saturday. That's the text I got from him. Marty Mush has an illness. He's not here. Smitty lives in Philly. He's not here, thank God. Low-key, my least favorite person in the company. I wish Smitty just never showed up at all. Big Ev, how's your life going?
Pretty good. Last 3 days of gambling have been very good. So, gambling good, spirits good.
You know what else is good? Speaking of good spirits. Ho-ho, look out. Fireball.
Wow. I threw you the alley-oop there. Got a little excited.
Brandon, that was really good. Great transition.
Speaking of great spirits.
If I didn't hit that would have been just threw it up. Bang.
Fireball whiskey, the number one shot in the United States of America. It's time to free your fire with an ice-cold shot of Fireball. Sometimes life can get serious fast and adult responsibilities become overwhelming, but everyone needs an excuse to let loose and have some fun. During the moments of stressful adulting and letting yourself have some fun, Fireball whiskey is there to help you say F it and free your fire. Fireball takes any event to the next level, whether it's a mundane work happy hour, crazy pregame, or just watching football with some friends. Fireball is all about flipping the script on life and turning an everyday event into one you'll be talking about for generations to come. Fireball's iconic cinnamon flavor tastes fire and goes down easy, making it the ultimate crowd pleaser. Next time you're deciding between adulting and fun, say F it and free your fire with an ice-cold shot of Fireball. Hello, Big Ev.
Brandon.
We got barbecue upstairs. Did you not get some?
No, I didn't. I'll be all right.
That's okay. I made the run right before the show, and I have barbecue hands.
I seen you scarfing it down as I walked in the
I
studio.
did. It took me 9 minutes to scarf down the whole plate
It
of
looked
barbecue.
good, too. It looks like a great plate.
And my head I'm lightheaded right now.
Some barbecue chicken in there. I saw some mac and cheese.
No, it was some brisket. There was some pulled pork. There was some mac and cheese. Look at Zah's plate right now. He's got the chicken.
Honestly, I knew I saw some chicken on some of
They had just a wonderful banana pudding to end it all off. So I don't know. I didn't know y'all knew how to do banana pudding in this godforsaken city, but it is.
I don't know if I've ever had banana pudding, to be honest.
You ain't had banana pudding. It's my
Not that I can recall.
My number one dessert. I love banana pudding. Great dessert.
Or like a brownie guy.
You're a brownie guy?
Brownies. I like an ice cream cake. I always enjoy.
You like brownies?
I do.
I like banana pudding and pecan pie. Those are my two desserts. Although I don't just like two desserts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Plenty of desserts I like. Big pumpkin pie guy as well.
No, nobody's a big pumpkin pie guy.
I really
like you like pumpkin pie.
People hate when I say
low
this.
tier pie.
I honestly like pumpkin more than apple, and I do like apple pie.
Well, apple's one of our more overrated food. Nobody really loves apple pie.
It always freaks me out when people are like it's like their favorite dessert.
You don't like apple pie?
Nobody loves apple pie.
I like apple pie, but it's nowhere near the top.
I think in general pie gets way too much run as a dessert. But if I had to go 3, it's apple, pumpkin, peanut butter.
Oh no! First of all, you've never been down south and had a pecan pie. Pecan pies are unbelievable.
What about peach cobbler?
Peach cobbler. I like a peach cobbler better than.
I think blueberry pie is very just ugh.
I mean, pie in general is whatever, but fine. Did you know that McDonald's is coming out with adult Happy Meals?
Really?
They're coming out with adult Happy Meals with nostalgic toys.
Talk to me nice, Brandon.
So they're going to have toys based on when we were kids for us as adults.
Who's we? You?
Us,
or like
adults. Me? You're an adult, too.
But I'm saying the toy structure is different over, like...
I would assume it'll probably span generations. I don't know. It might go all the way back to my youth. It might be your youth.
Like mine would be like Toy Story and like...
yeah, but I doubt it'll do that. It won't be licensed. But they're like the McNugget Buddies.
Okay.
The McNugget Buddies when they were... and then they're already bringing back the Halloween buckets for the Happy Meal, which is a strong move.
Yeah, very strong.
Back when I was a kid, in the summer they had boats, Happy Meal boats. They came in plastic boats with stickers, and you can put the stickers on the boats and put them in your bathtub.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was fun. All right, and that just shows though our generation of adults. We never grew up. We're just fucking kids.
Yeah. Oh,
we're just big ass kids. We like other generations fought wars. We're getting Happy Meal to bring toys back for us.
No, I was getting like Pokemon and Digimon and all that type of shit.
And I'm to blame. I'm the biggest nostalgia guy out there. My favorite podcast is the rewatchables, and the ones I like are the movies when I was a kid. My favorite when I go home, you know what I watch on YouTube?
What's that?
Videos of people watching or playing Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. That's what I watch on YouTube. That's how I live my life.
I watch people play blackjack and slots and stuff.
You sounded like that made you more of a man than me.
No, that's what I do. I don't know. I'm not that's my streaming angle.
All right, we're getting right into football. College football, pro football, all the football. But we have our new structure is we're bringing 2 topics apiece. You brought 2 topics. I brought 2 topics. Rico ostensibly would bring 2 topics if he comes. So my first topic is just my favorite 11 lines in college football this week. Just I'm not dilly-dallying. These are the 11 that jumped out to me, and my early reads are usually my best reads. So I wanted to give them to you and let you react to what I tell you right now, okay? Please. And then we will break it down for the people. Here we go. My favorite college football lines. Now, I wrote these down at 8 o'clock last night. So if they have moved at all, I apologize. Michigan -11 at Iowa. It's a tricky situation. It's not a fun place to play, and Iowa does have an elite defense. But can I trust Michigan to go out there and score 3 touchdowns? I think I can. Can I trust Iowa to score more than 1 touchdown? I don't think I can. I believe this has 24-10 or 21-3 written all over it. That's why I like Michigan -11 at Iowa. What do you think?
It's one I highlighted as well because part of it is last year Dave drugged me to the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
And I made a big wager on them actually bludgeoning Iowa, and that's exactly what they did. Now, I don't think Michigan's team this year is quite as good as they were last year. I still think they're solid. I like it. I mean, I definitely wouldn't take Iowa.
I like Clemson -6.5 against NC State, and I'll tell you why. On the field, they might be even. NC State is a very good team, good quarterback. Clemson, good team, good defense. Quarterback played a lot better last week, but this is a gigantic game. This is a game to see who's going to win the conference, who might go to the playoff. This is a game that Clemson, as a program, lives for. They've been here time and again. Ever since Clemson was a thing 10 years ago, they thrive in these situations, playing an upstart ACC team who wants to beat the big bad, and they can't do it. Clemson thrives. They're at home. NC State, this is new water for them, new territory, uncharted. They do not know how to act when it's a game this gigantic, and it's on the road. I like Clemson -6.5 against NC State.
I love it. I've had it circled all week. I love it. I completely agree with you. Also think DJ having that big game, I think he really needed that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw he was doing the like the on-field post like interview, and all his teammates come up to like best quarterback in the country, like really like hyping him up behind him. I appreciated the way the team believed in him through kind of all the bad times. They stuck with him, and now he's playing much better. So I think that's huge. And I agree with everything you said 100%. And I also saw this stat this morning. Glad Ebo just threw it up.
Clemson is 17-8 against the spread.
And I just see when you see 2 teams that are that highly ranked and one's a touchdown favorite,
yeah,
with these big spreads, I usually think they are for a reason. I usually like to lean with that side.
I like UCLA +3 against Washington. Washington's had some high-profile wins recently. Michael Penix leads the country in passing yards. Who saw that shit coming? He was average at Indiana. Maybe he had moments where he was above average, but mostly he wasn't great. Now he goes to Washington. He's the best quarterback in the country all of a sudden. They've had some highly publicized wins, and UCLA has had some stinkers where they've snuck away with a victory over some bad teams. South Alabama won. UCLA +3 at Washington against Washington at home. I think this is a perfect breakthrough opportunity for UCLA to have their big game that Washington's already had.
I mean, the line screams UCLA.
Yes, it does.
I mean, it just screams take UCLA. It screams UCLA is going to win the game. It was, I believe, the public's headed towards Washington. It was 3.5. It's now down to 3,
yeah,
which usually is even a bigger telltale for me. UCLA, I think it has to be the play.
I'm about to give you my favorite play of the week, and it will be my proper pick when we do the college football show later. Okay? So don't take it. I fucking love Wisconsin -7 at home against Illinois. Why? Because when Wisconsin gets on the field with somebody better than them, they can get beat to sleep. But when they get on the field with somebody they're better than, they beat them to sleep. They can choke a team out. Their defense at home. Illinois has one other road game. They went to Indiana and lost. If you're going to Indiana and losing, I don't think you're going to Wisconsin and surviving that either. It's going to be low scoring, but I love Wisconsin -7 against Illinois.
I don't hate it. It was a game I didn't have highlighted. It was a line I saw. My initial knee jerk was to stay away from it, but I agree with you. I mean, even just like you said, the Indiana game. It's tough for me because I do think that Illinois is capable.
But what Illinois does offensively is a nightmare against Wisconsin. Like they want to run the ball, and Tommy DeVito's a game manager, and Wisconsin, that's how they're built.
They play into their strengths. I agree.
Like if you don't have the speed to negate Wisconsin's defense, like Ohio State did, then it's going to be tough. I like Ole Miss -6.5 against Kentucky.
Might be my favorite play. It's up there.
And plus, did you see today that Lane Kiffin went on a press conference and was whining like a bitch about his crowd and his students needed to be at the game? That means the crowd's going to respond, and they're going to have a huge home field advantage.
It was one for me that I know me and you have agreed on this kind of all year that I don't think Kentucky's nearly that good.
They should not be top 10. I know that.
The Florida game, they were a gift-wrapped Anthony Richardson pick six.
Yeah.
From losing, or they got that and won the game where Florida was driving to win. I don't think Florida's very good. I think they're decent. And Ole Miss is that team now where this is their first real game.
Yeah.
But they have handled business. They played bad teams and have just absolutely stomped them.
Did you see this?
You know, when you come back out and you run out the tunnel and it looks like, a high school game playing in a college stadium, you can't let that affect you. I mean, there's psychology to that, obviously. There's a home field advantage for a reason. And, when it goes the other way, you kind of have that feeling, that, man, are we still really playing in a game here? The players have to fight that. So, again, we use that as a learning lesson for our guys. So, if that's the case, that's the case. But, I mean, I'm worried about what I can control. I've tried social media in here for 2 years. So, we'll worry about what we can control, and that's getting our players ready to play.
What a crybaby. Anyway.
He sounded like a disappointed father.
He did. He sounded like
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
He was about to break into tears at any moment.
Wow.
But their fans will respond, and they will be absolutely jacked this weekend when Kentucky comes in. It's a chance at a free top 10 win. Like Kentucky's number 7, but they're not really number 7.
No.
Like you got to be there and you got to be loud. TCU +6.5 against Oklahoma.
That was another one too that I thought was tricky.
This one is tricky.
There's another one I saw as one. I didn't circle it as a play. I kind of just went by it. Because I do think it's a tough game.
Oklahoma having lost muddies the water
for sure. 100%.
But I think TCU is a pretty good football team. So,
are you a big Sonny Dykes believer? I've been talking to Rico a lot about
I'm a big Sonny Dykes guy.
I like him too. That's really what it was for me. That the fact that Oklahoma's coming off a loss, like if they were undefeated, I would be all over TCU. But the fact that Oklahoma's coming in this game pretty desperate, literally has to win to save their season.
I'll speed through these last ones because we're kind of falling behind. Texas Tech +8 against Kansas State.
Yeah, I would take Tech.
No, Kansas State coming off a big win, but Texas Tech also coming off a big win, and I think they're good enough to stay within the number. One of maybe my second favorite right here, and I don't think a lot of people are going to say this one. Alabama, Arkansas under 61. Arkansas's defense leads the SEC, maybe the nation, in sacks. They will get after you. Alabama's weakness so far on offense, if they have any, has been the offensive line. It hasn't been elite. Their receivers haven't really been elite yet. They have an elite quarterback, elite running game, but their offensive line has shown not to be all that great. Arkansas is going to be able to stop them at times during the game. And Arkansas has a quarterback who can run it, can't really throw it that well, and their receivers aren't very good. So I don't see them stretching the field against Alabama. This feels like a 24-20 game, a 27-20 game. I think 61's way too high for these two teams, the way they match up.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Probably not something that's probably going to be on my card. I guess I don't hate to because I think everyone does remember how high scoring they
And it was high scoring last year.
Very high scoring.
Yeah, it was like 40, 45, 42.
42. Yeah, they edged out late.
46, 41 or something.
They were going just back and forth in the second half, I remember.
What was that score of Arkansas-Bama last year? It was a weird score. Okay, don't listen to me. Y'all just talk to each other back there. Ebo, you having fun?
Zah's looking for it, I think.
We're just talking social over here, brother.
Okay.
Listen,
Yeah,
we're
trying to get you
strategizing
organized.
here.
I like Kansas +3 against Iowa State. Wake Forest +7 against Florida State. Florida State probably wins the game, but Wake Forest to keep that. Yes.
I like Florida State.
Do you?
Kansas I like as well. I agree with that on Kansas. I like Florida State. I actually like Florida State enough that it's on my card. That's not. It's just like it doesn't worry you that they're ranked the same at 7. Like 7 just seems a lot, but I think it's one of those where it seems a lot for a reason. I also think that I'm a big believer in Florida State. I think we're going to get into some other segments later that I'm going to be high in Florida State.
I think at 4-0, Vegas knows they're going to be able to get some bets on Florida State, and they're putting it out there. But I think Wake Forest is a very good football team, and Wake Forest is somebody that is being overlooked. I know they just lost to Clemson. Sam Hartman's medical event earlier in the season kind of put them below the radar, and if he hadn't had that, they would not be below the radar. Like Wake Forest can go in and win that game. I don't think they will, but I think it's a very close game. I think it's you put those top 4 or 5 in the ACC together, they're going to be close to overtime every week. Like these are close games.
Wake Forest, they did just handle Clemson's D-line pretty well.
42-35 to Alabama.
Yep. And my last one, Duke -2.5 against Virginia. Virginia's awful.
Yeah, they're bad. They came through for me on Friday, but they are bad. It's really bad.
Can I tell you about Omaha Steaks?
Please.
Omaha Steaks are delicious. From tailgate parties to busy weeknights, the flavor experts at – can I just start over? I'd like to start over, so. Can y'all tell I'm dying out here? You can't tell? Okay, good. From tailgate parties to busy weeknights, the flavor experts in Omaha Steaks have made it easier to savor all the flavors of fall with their mouth-watering assortments of perfectly aged steaks, ultra-juicy burgers, and easy-to-prepare comfort meals that are ready in a flash. Right now, take advantage of 50% off site-wide by shopping their semi-annual sale. The sale happens only twice a year, and it's on now with 50% off delicious customer favorites. And when you use the promo code PICS at checkout, take out an additional $30 off your order. Again, that's 50% off their sale, $30 off with the code PICS. Go to omahasteaks.com, enter PICS at checkout, and stock them on fall flavor today. That's code PICS at checkout to score an extra $30 off your order at omahasteaks.com.
I feel so bad for you. So sorry for you, Brandon. I feel so sorry for you. You deserve a nice package of Omaha Steaks. I mean,
you get that sarcasm out your fucking voice, Zah.
So hard.
Get your sarcasm out your fucking voice, all right? I've been sick for 9 days now. I'm trying. I'm battling.
So
I'm out here. I'm the man in the arena, okay? It's easy to sit over there, you and Ebo talking social and making fun of me for dying out here.
No, I mean, I've got it very easy.
I got Rico
I'll be
over
the
there in
first to tell you.
Pick'em. I got Marty Mush, God knows where. Ben Mintz is taking another vacation down south. What do y'all want me to do?
You know what? I'm gonna get you a package of Omaha Steaks.
And that was a quick shot at Ben Mintz, but he did host last week when I was out, so don't take that joke personally, please, everybody on YouTube, because I know that y'all take everything fucking personally. Even though y'all want us to joke, you don't let us to actually joke.
Brandon, really quick.
Yes, what? God damn it, what?
You know what would make you feel a lot better if we got some likes in the chat? You know, some likes on the YouTube video costs nothing.
Yes.
If you like the video, subscribe.
Please
Subscribe.
Please.
Nick Mertz always says, if you like the video, like the video. So please like the video.
Yes.
Good.
Anytime we can get a Nick Merckx shout out, we got to do it. Whoever the fuck that
Just
is.
click, just click.
What was that?
Oh, the first one was way better.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Fuck.
You lost your click. Anyway, so you brought a topic.
I did.
I have one more topic, but we'll take turns. What is your topic?
So mine was 4 weeks in, obviously. Teams have some losses. We've seen some teams look good, look not good. Final four for college football playoff.
Final four for college football
If you don't want
playoff.
to change anything, what do you think it is now based on what you've seen?
Okay, I'm ready. I got mine.
I think I have mine too still.
And I got mine. Has it changed?
Yeah, one team was swapped out.
I think mine originally was Alabama, Georgia, USC, Ohio State. One of those teams is out. Go ahead with yours.
So mine was Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Utah.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's out.
Oklahoma's out, and Utah's still in.
I think there's still a path for Utah, and I think they're going to find it.
Okay.
Because I think the Big 12 is going to cannibalize themselves. They're going to be out.
Right.
My only fear is the ACC, but I think the ACC has a chance to potentially cannibalize themselves too. My only problem is that I think for Utah to get in, if they run the table, what they would need to do, run the table and get in, I think they would need Clemson to probably lose twice, which is difficult, I will admit. But so what I'm going with, I'm putting Georgia in. Georgia's getting they haven't skipped a beat. Defense, I know they Kent State this week, whatever.
Yeah.
They slept to walk through it. I'm not going to totally hold that against them. Defense is unbelievable. So I think they're definitely going to be in. I think it's going to be the winners, the 1 seed in the SEC. Loser of that game's a 3 seed.
So your new Final Four is Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Utah.
Yeah, Utah. Yes, I'm sticking with Utah. I believe in Utah. I'm standing by them.
Okay, you can see my original was Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, USC. What team do you think I'm taking out?
You're taking out USC.
I'm taking out the University of Alabama.
Wow.
I'm keeping Georgia in. Georgia is going to go undefeated and win the SEC championship game. I don't know that Alabama is good enough. We still have that Texas game where they didn't look great. They have to go through the SEC West. Can they get through there undefeated? They usually don't. They do occasionally. I think they've done it twice. But they've got a road game at Ole Miss. They got a road game at Tennessee. They have been god-awful on the road for the last 5 times they went out. They barely beat Texas. They barely beat a bad Auburn. They barely beat a bad Florida. They lost to A&M. This is a team that struggles on the road, and they got some tough road trips. So my new playoff 4 is Georgia Bulldogs 1, the Ohio State Buckeyes 2, the Clemson Tigers 3, and the USC Trojans 4. Clemson Tigers, if they win this week, it's downhill for them. They will have beaten Wake Forest, and they will have beaten NC State. Florida State is better this year, but I don't think they're playoff good. Clemson has to go to Florida State, but I like Clemson. If they get through NC State, I don't know who on that schedule is beating them.
Well, that's my one thing that I was going to say for another topic. I think Florida State could pick them off.
Could
home.
Could, I guess.
I think there's. I'm going to be very curious to see what the line is when that game does come. Because I think Florida State. I think especially after seeing what Wake Forest is able to do offensively.
Yeah.
Not that I think Florida State's offense is as explosive, but they have some really good players. They can run the ball well, better than they have the last few years. The line's better. What's the big kid's name? Wilson.
From Arizona State.
He's a monster.
Yeah,
monster.
He's a monster.
They got Pittman. They got a few really good playmakers, and I'm a big believer in Jordan Travis.
Okay.
Yeah, my voice is just like shot. I don't know what
all
it
right.
is.
Hey, Rico.
What's up?
How was Pick'em?
You talk about things like fashion trends come back into style, and like the world is a flat circle. This was like one of the first Pick'em episodes ever in terms of a lot of different things of like.
Well, how were
technology, morale? Were they
able to run the 2-man weave? Were they there to run it?
No, they weren't there to run it, but there's some underrated comedy for sure.
Okay, all right.
It's a good episode.
Seem to be in good spirits.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to get the board better. Last week was obviously hot. The Kansas Duke game, I still like.
You haven't had a. I'm
up on the year. I know everybody loves to be like, oh, he's horrible.
I'm not worried about that. You haven't had a pick'em that just destroys your life this year.
No, yeah, different mindset.
Okay, all right.
What does that say in the NFL? You're not as down as
never as bad as you.
Never as bad as they think they are. Never as good as you think they are.
Yeah. So we've been talking college football.
Yeah, I think it's a good argument.
We
obviously
redid our playoff 4s. Do you have a new playoff 4?
I got 2 for sure that are I don't see, even with 1 loss, I think they're in.
So you originally had Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Utah. That's not a terrible.
That's actually that's what my new one is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Ohio State and Georgia, bar none. I really don't think that's debatable. I think it's gonna be. I really do think it's gonna be the winner of USC and Utah.
Yeah.
I still. Yeah. I mean, we all kind of all agree because you think USC.
I said USC. Yeah.
I think Utah.
So like I
don't think Utah's all that good. I mean, that game.
I don't think, but it's
the game at Florida, man. Like, I don't think Florida's very good either.
No, but Richardson played really well, and he hasn't done that.
No,
really.
but him playing really well is a bad sign.
Because he's not good. I agree with that.
No, but he's
not good.
We've talked about this a million times, but he's talent. Like, he can be really good. I don't think it was that the defense is bad that made him good. He just showed up that day. You just don't know what Anthony Richardson's going to show up day to day.
But it is. I'll give the Pac-12 a little bit.
They've been smashing teams, which is what they did last year. Why I believe in them again.
I'll give the the Pac-12 a lot of credit. There's some teams who are now showing that, hey, they're better than we thought. Like
Pac-12 is
Washington with Penix, really good. Oregon State showing some life. Listen,
Washington State's not terrible.
No,
that they should have won last week. If Bo Nix is getting protection, he can be okay. Like he didn't. I know he threw the pick 6. He didn't really play that bad. He threw for a lot of yards.
Oregon's off the mat.
Mark my word, Utah is going to smash Oregon State this weekend. Smash them.
Yeah.
We're marking that.
Smash.
So
I'm gonna go with the USC Utah winner, and maybe I'll bet. I'm rooting for Utah because I do want the new blood, but I'll back off Utah a little bit just off the Richardson thing. Like if you got exposed by them, what is Caleb Williams gonna do?
I feel like USC's new blood at this point.
Yeah.
Playoff,
Actually,
they
you're
are.
right. Yeah, they are.
Playoff.
But and this is kind of the tie-in. Isn't it so fitting of like who do you put as the 4th team? And Lincoln Riley again just sneaks in as the 4. You know, not sneaks in, but like that guy's built to be the 3 seed or the 4 seed. So
he'll get beat by 5.
I would adjust it. I would adjust it to USC, even though I'm not that confident because I do think the Pac-12 has some slip-ups. The Big 12 to me is going to be a compelling race. I don't see a playoff team in there per se. If there is one, I'm rooting for Oklahoma State because I've just always loved Gundy. I think that's a career achievement. I guess it's de facto. No, you know what? The 4th, I'm going to go with the Pac-12 winner who I'll say USC. I'm still going to kind of go Alabama.
You've confused me thoroughly. You've
All right.
won several.
I went through everything.
3 or 4.
It's Utah. I'm sorry. USC, Ohio State, Georgia, and I'd go with Alabama.
I took Alabama out of mine because I think they might lose in the West. And I think they might lose to Georgia.
Yeah, I don't think they're very good, but I just do think the playoff favors having 2 SEC teams in there.
Yeah, but if they lose twice, they won't. If they lose twice, that changes everything. The SEC would need them both to have 1 loss, like last year when they both had 1 loss. This time, if Georgia's undefeated and Alabama has 2 losses, there's not going to be much to protect.
Where do you think the 2 losses from Alabama are coming?
Somebody in the West and Georgia. In the SEC title game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, like that's not easy.
I think it would be great if Tennessee beats Alabama.
Again,
to get us to Tennessee, Georgia would be an unbelievable
Their
environment.
last 5 road games, I keep saying it, beat Auburn by 2. Auburn was god-awful. Beat Florida by 2. Florida was so bad they fired their coach. Lost to A&M. Beat the shit out of us. Beat somebody else very, very close, and then beat Texas by 1. Like, they're not good on the road right now. I don't know why, but they're not. And they got at Tennessee. They got at Ole Miss. They got at LSU. Those are not easy trips.
No, I know you make a good point. You definitely. But going back to USC real quick, like a game this game this past week, no concerns.
USC
They just got totally exposed.
No, I picked Oregon State to cover that game. I thought it would be a close game. I don't think Oregon State's a bad football team.
No, I don't think they're bad.
I think you go out there and you go up to Corvallis and you win that game by hook or crook. However you can win it and get out of there, I think they'll be fine.
There also was some the fires up there, obviously.
But you think they're going to go to Utah and win? Because that's pretty much.
I just don't think Utah's as good as people think.
Okay.
That's all.
I kind of knew that already, but
I mean, Utah went to Florida and lost to a team I don't believe is very good, and I think USC's offense is a hell of a lot better than Florida's offense, and Utah let Florida move the football. And listen, it is at Utah, and that's a problem, but I guess I just believe in Caleb Williams to bounce back from Oregon State. I had another topic. Did you bring topics, by the way?
I brought topics, yeah, but I conceded them when the playoff one was great. I always love those.
But we can get to all of our
hypotheticals.
Topics.
Yeah,
I have one that I'd like to talk about.
Sure, go ahead.
Albert Pujols has 700 home runs. Albert Pujols is one of the weirder star athletes we've had in a long time. Because Albert Pujols, when he went to the Angels a decade ago, his last decade, he's not been one of the most famous players. Like, he kind of disappeared for a while. Not disappeared all the way, but certainly wasn't the legend that he was in St. Louis when he was winning 2 World Series with the Cardinals. He kind of his star power kind of took a dive. He has 700 home runs. It's one of the great accomplishments we've ever seen. But where does he fit in among our most famous athletes over the last 20 years? Like the best right-handed hitter of his generation, maybe a top 3 right-handed hitter in the history of the game with Hank Aaron and Willie Mays, Albert Pujols, maybe A-Rod too. Where does he fit among big stars since 2000? His debut was in 2001, so he's had this entire millennium, as one of baseball's most powerful guys. But he's like, his star power is behind, 9 or 10 quarterbacks in that time?
Well,
if you go all sports, he's definitely.
I'm just wondering, like
it's an interesting. I like the way you spun it because to me, talent-wise, he might be top 3 across all sports.
I think
you look at what he's done, MVP runner-up.
I think his last 10 years really, really hurt him in the eyes of some baseball fans. Like, he is the best right-handed hitter of the last 20 years and maybe has an argument to be the best right-handed hitter of all time. And I don't know if his profile befits
how
good he actually is.
I put talent at like I said, like a 10, but fame wise, like I don't even know if I'd recognize his voice if I heard it right now on a soundbite.
Yeah.
So fame wise, no, he's distant. I mean, I think Chris Paul might be more famous than.
Oh, I assure you that he is.
Yeah, exactly. So like guys like that, More. So but certain guys are just built like that. Like what's the story going to be on Trout? When you tell your kids about him in 10, well, your kids watch him, but
I think the lesson
15,
here
20
is
years
don't play for the Angels.
What?
Don't play for
the Angels. But talent-wise, he was unbelievable. But some guys are just not in the limelight,
His numbers actually, they've really only been like down the last like 5-ish years.
Yeah,
he's had over 100 RBIs up until 2017.
I mean, his numbers are incredible.
That's
700 home
like he's
runs.
supposed to downfall a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you don't take steroids.
Yeah.
For him, it was the average took a huge dip.
Yeah.
Like he was 300 plus every year, and then all of a sudden he's 250, 270, 240, 270, 240.
Better career, Albert
That's
Pujols.
when it starts to split. Yeah.
Better career, Albert Pujols or Alex Rodriguez?
Pujols was.
I don't know. Pujols
A-Rod just had more like star power.
Right.
Pujols no baggage.
And Pujols with 700 home runs. A-Rod quit in the middle of a season, had 696. That was dumb.
And Pujols' kind of body held up longer as well.
A-Rod also documented had sex with J-Lo.
Yeah.
Probably multiple times, if I'm guessing. I would assume.
At least.
I don't know who Albert Pujols had sex with. We have really no evidence Albert Pujols has had sex. So
he's got to have kids now. Pujols has got to have kids.
Do we have evidence?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, and then he got divorced recently.
Call in if you had sex with Albert Pujols.
If the line just went crazy. Just
I feel like I lean A-Rod, but I almost think part of that might be your mental, like he just was A-Rod.
Yes. That's where it skews it.
Pujols is.
It's really close.
I mean, Pujols.
It's really close.
Cardinals were so annoying when he was there. Like they were always just good, and then they would just sneak around and win a fucking World Series. And they're still that annoying good right now, even though. Well, I guess he is with him. But he'll definitely be one of those. We'll have that moment this offseason when they're down 3-1, and they're down 7-2 in the 8th, and he comes up, and there's going to be an extended standing ovation wherever they're playing.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be one of the moments of this postseason, unless they make the World Series, and hence it won't matter. But Pujols is a fascinating story for me because I don't know. It feels like he's bigger. He should be bigger than he was, and his last 10 years in LA kind of hurt him, which goes against all the logic in the world, right? You think you go to L.A. to become a bigger star, but in baseball that's not true unless you go to the Dodgers. If you go to the Angels, you can disappear. And, like, how big would Ohtani be as a national star if he played for the Mets, if he played for the Red Sox, if he played for even the Braves? Yeah. It was just being L.A. The Angels are just a weird – it's like going to L.A. and playing for the Clippers.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Never be as big a star.
Remember when the Clippers thought they were a thing for a little bit?
They've been thinking they were
got good-
thinking
they
about
got
Lob
for a
City,
minute.
yeah, Lob City.
Well,
I'm
that
saying the
I mean,
first
just-
one.
and recently,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, even in the early 2000s when they had Darius Miles and Quentin Richardson, and they had Elton
Over a
Brand.
slam, everyone
McGetty.
was buying those jerseys.
Yeah,
Yep.
Corey Maggette, yeah, and they had a show. They were one of the first shows that followed a team through a season, like behind the scenes. I don't remember what they called it, but it was. I remember watching it like 2002, and it was Q Richardson and Maggette and all those guys, and that guy that wore the crazy cowboy hat on the sidelines, a fan, a weird rich white guy that just has a lot of money. I want to be one of those guys. I got a lot of those things. I'm white.
Yeah.
I'm a guy. Oh, Rico, I'm rich.
Yes.
Have you heard about my contract?
Yes.
Okay. What do you got, Rico?
What I had was, we kind of touched on it a little bit. Where is that? Pick Central Prep. Which conference is the better of the two, the Big 12 or the Pac-12?
I think the Pac-12 is better. Washington's good. UCLA might be good. We'll
That's
see.
an awesome one Friday night.
It's an awesome game. USC is good. Utah is good. I don't know who's good in the Big 12. Is Oklahoma good, or are they just? I don't know. I don't know the answer to any of these questions. I think the best team in the Big 12 is a healthy Quinn Ewers in Texas.
Right, but
Oklahoma State could be good.
that's yeah, we'll find out. I mean, Baylor could be good. I still think Kansas State is
But Pac-12 has some bad teams, and Big 12 doesn't. So how do you balance that out?
right. Like, who's the worst team in the Big? I do think the ceiling is higher in the Big 12 than the Pac-12. That makes sense.
The floor's higher too.
The floor is much
What
higher.
am I
So
saying?
The
Floor.
lowest,
The
the
floor is
lowest
higher.
Look it
ranked
up.
team.
The floor is much higher. Yeah.
Lowest ranked team in FPI: Kansas 55th, Texas Tech 47th, West Virginia 39th. So
Kansas-
they
Kansas-
barely have a
Kansas being
team
the
outside the
worst.
top
Kansas
50.
is still the worst team in the FBI and the Big 12.
Right. Well, FPI takes a little longer to move up.
Yeah.
I think
They started very low.
How low is Colorado? Are they like in the 120s?
They're horrible.
I'll check that right now.
I think at the end of the day, the worst team
Colorado
in the Big
is
12
117th.
could end up being Iowa State, West Virginia, or Kansas, and I all think they're still pretty
They're
good.
still pretty
Or
good,
Texas Tech. I still think they're all pretty good. So that was a good one. And the other one was why are the San Francisco 49ers favored over the LA Rams?
Why are the San Francisco 49ers favored over the LA
gonna win.
Rams?
Yeah.
Well, good roster, good team, desperate team.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same way like these 0-2 teams last week, like the Colts and how desperate they were, how desperate the Titans were. That has to be setting in for the Niners too, right?
Also,
Probably.
I
Interdivision
love,
home
Division
dogs.
familiarity too.
Yeah.
I love fading teams off a shitty primetime game. When you have a shitty primetime game, everyone, you're stuck. You lost to the shitty Broncos, blah, blah, blah. Then you come home and you beat the shit out of the Super Bowl champs.
So you love backing a team off of
Yeah, so I'm backing them off a bad spot. Like off a
said
bad.
fading originally, backing.
Yeah,
no, it's fine.
backing off a bad primetime
Yeah.
show.
I don't know. It's just like, do we
Also, besides that NFC Championship game last year where they were winning big early, they've had the Rams number for years.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that's a part of it as well.
I just thought, are we underselling the Rams a little bit? Like off of that big Bills loss, like they didn't
no,
look
I don't
great.
know. See, I'm somebody
Not so
who,
great last week against Arizona, who's okay. It's
They
just
played. I thought they played pretty good against Arizona. No,
Stafford, no touchdown
they left some-
passes. Yeah.
well, they're the one Cooper
Right.
dropped on. They had the fumble at the 1 yard line. They left some points on the board, no doubt. They could have. I watched that game because I watched the whole game because I was on.
yeah, I watched. I just don't think Arizona's that great either. So it's
Oh,
like-
agreed. I just thought they played like they won by what, like 12 or something. They could have won the game by like 4 touchdowns. But I just still think the Niners are really good. I know they look shitty on Sunday.
Listen, I'm a buyer too. I think Garoppolo was an instant upgrade over Trey Lance.
Yeah,
Talk
no,
about experience,
this team for sure.
Like a little bit of a chip on his shoulder as well. I agree with it. I just was surprised. I was surprised that San Fran was a favorite, and
So it's 1.5, right?
I had seen 2.5.
Is it? I went to show that. I thought it was 1.5.
I had seen 2.5.
Regardless, even that's a small number at home.
Yeah, so maybe it's
That's
over
pretty much
that.
telling you it's like a neutral, like pickup game. Almost slightly leans the Rams.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, I think with just NFL a lot of times, like, listen, it's not going to come through every time. Nothing ever is. But I just think when they throw you a line like this, I feel like usually they're telling you, hey, like Niners are a good spot here.
The other one too, I guess we kind of do like quickly. So the I always forget the names. You guys are in the East in the Big Ten.
Yes.
It's the West, right? Minnesota has kind of put themselves ahead of that.
Yep.
Okay, we all thought it was a big logjam, and it still might be because PJ Fleck, he's out of the graveyard. He covered for me last week, but they could do whatever. What percentage did you put as far as worry of Minnesota tripping you up in a title game?
For Ohio State?
Yeah.
I hope it's 0.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so much more worried about like Penn State on the road is the game.
Exactly.
I'm worried about
I got it. And but that's an obvious, like those are obvious. Like you're worried about Michigan and State Penn. Yeah, I'm doing the flip side of, hey, there's a team way down the road. Like, let's go take a look at that.
I mean, so obviously we were there. We got through those teams. Not super worried.
That's fine. Because you did. Who was the one a couple of years ago that you were supposed to smash? Was Wisconsin? In the title game where they had a lead late and it was
they did a couple of those games. They played DC guys early. Yeah,
I just thought that division, that side was going to be decided real late, and there were 5 interchangeable kind of shitty teams.
So many bad teams.
It does look like Minnesota's putting themselves ahead of it. That's all I'm saying.
And even though I don't think Michigan State was great, them just smashing them was a good win.
So you also had another one where you were like, right now your futures are conference winners.
Yeah, future college football.
I have a couple to look at. Pitt is plus 1,200 to win the ACC. Now I think Clemson's going to win the ACC, but I don't know if you guys have noticed Pitt. Pitt is they got the loss to Tennessee. Doesn't matter. Their ACC schedule is one of the worst schedules I've ever seen. They got like Louisville. They got they play in the much weaker Coastal Division in the ACC, and they got Georgia Tech, they got Duke, they got all these teams. Pitt is plus 1,200. They might not lose a game in the conference. That's how bad their schedule is. And if they were to get to the conference championship game against Clemson, that's a tremendous. You put whatever you want on. It's plus 1,200. You put 100 on them right now. That's a tremendous hedging opportunity at the end.
You know, they were one that I looked at as well in the same conference. I kind of mentioned it earlier that Florida State was one I circled at plus 800, just because I do getting Clemson at home. I think they can trip Clemson up at home, and pretty much if they can win that game, they're in a great spot to be in the conference championship game, which is going to put you in a similar spot. And when they play Clemson, no way that number's 800. It's going to be way less than that.
All right, I'll give you one straight off the scroll.
Well, hold on real quick. So here's Pitt's schedule coming up. Georgia Tech at home, win. Virginia Tech at home,
win.
At Louisville, also, but probably a win.
To be determined, yeah.
At North Carolina.
Should be a win.
Versus Syracuse at home.
Win.
At Virginia, win. Duke at home.
Wow.
At Miami. That's their schedule.
Wow. Miami could be tricky late, but I mean,
the only
thing Cuse, because Cuse is a team that I think they're a good story. I like what they've done. I don't think they're that great.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're about to get smashed by somebody.
What was yours?
I worry a little bit about history repeating itself, because wasn't Pitt like 33-1 last year at one point and then snuck up to win that conference?
Well, they did win it.
That's what I'm saying. Lightning in a bottle twice. Okay. It's great eyes, and the schedule is great. I just think, like, all right, so I'll give you a team. This team has not played a conference game. They start Sunday now with the weather. I'll go with SMU at 6-1 to win the AAC.
Yeah.
So UCF is obviously, that's a crazy game, and that's the first test. But then it's Navy, Cincy is a test, but you do get them at home. At Tulsa, Houston is a test. They get them at home. At South Florida, at Tulane, who's, Kempesky, whatever, and then Memphis at home. So the top of that conference, they're all pretty much at home if they can get through UCF. And that one's one where it's no divisions. I believe it's just straight through, top 2. So I can afford a loss and depending on where it is, and be okay. SMU plus 600 would be a look for me as well.
All right, y'all want to run through NFL lines real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Before we do that, though, I got to tell you about the good people at Foaling. Foaling, one of the hottest games in the world, is sweeping the country. That's what I say. You can go to a Foaling warehouse anywhere in the Midwest, especially up in Michigan. It's bowling, it's football, it's fun, it's having fun, it's drinking beer, it's all a good time. Go to playfoaling.com and use code Barstool20 for 20% off and free shipping on a Foaling set at playfoaling.com. Barstool20 for 20% off and free shipping on a Foaling set at playfoaling.com. So, NFL, Thursday night, you have the Dolphins who just flew right through. Did y'all see the flight path of the Dolphins today? They flew that thing right through that hurricane. The Dolphins +4 against the Bengals. I think that's just that extra point there weirds me out. Like, this should be 3. It's 4. I'm going to bet the Dolphins because I think they could lose this game by 3 points and still be fine. What makes this a 4-point spread, not a 3-point spread?
I love the Bengals.
Love them.
Love the Bengals. I actually like them so much. I actually took them 2 days ago. I got 3.5.
Okay.
All right.
I just think it's not just a bad letdown spot for the. I don't think the Dolphins are very good. It's nothing like against them long term.
Yeah.
I just think it's a bad spot on a short week after a great start they've had.
Big win. Yep.
Big win. 2 big wins, really.
Original win. Yep.
Broncos are still, even though they are actually not Bengals, even though they still beat the Jets, they're still kind of a desperate-ish team. And with the pass rush, they've had to play some insane pass rushes. That I don't know if the Dolphins have that, like the same.
No, they don't.
Like the Cowboys did, like the who did they play with?
Steelers.
Like the Steelers did with T.J. Watt healthy and those guys. So I just think it's a good spot at home. Also Thursday's big advantage. I think being at home.
Quick week, yeah.
Yeah, I like the Bengals.
Can we be the guys to find, because all we've been hearing, primetime unders. It's going to eventually flip. Can we be the guys to like, when does it flip?
I don't think it does this
Maybe we
time.
sit out for a little bit, but
I think there's something real to it, especially obviously Thursday night goes into it a lot. Like short weeks, it's tough to prepare like that offensively.
I'm just saying down the road, like whatever.
Because if it's 47 for this one, I would.
Don't think they're
would
all
lean
gonna
under.
go. Don't think they're all gonna go under. That's my only.
Yeah, but a lot of them are.
Yeah, they are. I got you.
I
It's a
would-
dangerous proposition.
They've been good.
The Vikings in London are -3 against the New Orleans Saints.
This is a must-win for the Vikings.
It's a must-win for the Saints too, isn't it?
I think the Saints are bad.
Weird. Jameis not at practice today.
I don't think the Saints think they're bad. I think both teams are coming in this focused on a must-win situation.
Yeah, I just think the listen, I'm high on the Vikings. I do think the Vikings have a higher ceiling than the Saints. I really do think the Saints are a bad team. So the Vikings, they got to go out and figure out a way to win this one.
The Bills are -3 against the Ravens. This feels like a game that we're going to be referencing in the playoffs. Like when the Bills play the Ravens in the playoffs, we're going to say, "Oh, well, this happened back in September or October 2nd." The Bills -3 against the Ravens. Bounce back spot for the Bills, but Ravens at home. Ravens already got embarrassed at home with that big comeback for the Dolphins. That's a hell of a line right there.
Game.
That's a stay away from
If
me.
you could get me 3.5, I honestly think I might jump on the Ravens.
What do you think about the over on that one? The Ravens defense is, while they're still giving up a lot of
they
points
gave
to
up
the
20.
Patriots.
They gave up 26 to the Patriots. They
Gave up a ton to the Dolphins.
42 to the Dolphins.
I like the over.
All right, the Bears are +3.5 at the Giants in a game that only a mother could love.
Under.
Yeah,
Don't overthink it. If it goes over, it goes over. I mean,
39.5.
that's your quarterback against your team.
yeah, I know.
We have the Browns -1.5 against the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta.
Dirty Birds.
I kind of like Atlanta.
Birds.
I do. I like Atlanta. They got a lot of weapons.
The Jags +6.5 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, nobody.
If the
So
Eagles, here's my spin.
hard.
If the Eagles win this game convincingly, like 10, and control the whole game against a pesky Jaguars team, this shows me that the Eagles are truly, truly for real because they haven't been tested yet.
Brandon,
All
I
right.
think this
Can
is
you,
going to be the game that proves you're right about Trevor Lawrence. He's
I
good.
don't have my headphones on. Is he talking to me?
He's
he
saying
said this is
this
the
will be
game
the
that's
game that proves it about Trevor Lawrence. He
Oh,
says
yeah.
he's
The
good.
Jags. It almost just scares me the line's that big.
Yeah.
Give it to the effort pick at 52.
Tapping out.
I'm tapping out for right now. I gotta go do something.
All right. Cowboys -3 against the Washington
You
Commanders.
skipped. Oh, we're on.
Oh, okay, yeah. What? Oh, you're
you
going
got-
through the.
Oh no, I mean we can do whatever.
No. Let's go
This
back.
game we had. if
Okay,
you're
yeah,
the-
absolutely. LA Chargers -5 against the Houston Texans.
If you're, so I don't know. My thing is, I don't know how Herbert just. He shouldn't have played. He shouldn't even played last week.
Oh, he shouldn't. And also, did he sleep with somebody's wife? That they're leaving him out there down fucking 21.
Crazy.
What are we doing?
They asked Staley about it after
You're
the
a
game.
franchise quarterback.
Do you see that when they asked Staley about it after
I
the
didn't
game?
see what he said. He has no
Staley
defense.
because they were all kind of like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Yeah.
you were down 38-10. Like, get him out of there. And like and deep in the fourth quarter, and Staley just said he wanted to be out there with his guys. That's when those where you appreciate your quarterback wanting to be out there. But you got to pull him aside and be like, listen.
You're the coach.
This one's
He's
over.
24. You
100%.
have rationale
Like,
to say.
we need you for the next season.
Absolutely.
This season, next 10 years.
That also
not
shows,
this game where we're getting the shit beat out
That
of
shows
us.
me that he's a stupid coach. Like a guy like that would figure out a way to, I don't know. He don't make the calls. You make the calls.
No, I agree with you. No, I thought it was a bad decision for sure. Also, Texans gave them trouble last year. The Texans defense is not bad.
I think the
They're scrappy.
Texans are going to find a way to eventually win a game. They are pesky in it. I probably would go Houston. I think
I would take the
I would
5.
not be surprised if Houston is in Hank's Hungry Dog parlay.
No, I think as of right now, I would take the 5 here. I like Texans.
Pittsburgh -3.5 hosting the Jets.
Tricky one. This one's tricky for me. This is a game that I probably would stay away from. Probably just not bet. If I had to bet, my thing is I just don't know how to feel. If Wilson plays, that makes me want to stay away from the game entirely because we just haven't seen them. I want to know what they look like with him on the field.
I think he's bad. If
I almost think they're better with Flacco too.
If Pittsburgh's defense was fully healthy, Wilson's in for a rude awakening.
Part of me almost just to be contrarian would want the Jets, but probably like I'm saying that's if I had to pick a side, I probably won't play it.
Seahawks Detroit Lions -4.5 against the Seahawks. I kind of love the Lions.
I kind of do too. It almost feels Seahawks away from home.
Geno went berserk in the first week. I think you might get a little bit overvalued. The Lions score on anybody.
Yeah,
They have scored.
They
scored. Listen, the Eagles were one of the best teams in the league. The Lions put up a ton of points on them, came back, almost won that game, got real close. I think the Lions can score on everybody. I don't really buy the Seahawks. I don't buy Geno Smith. I was holding that under ticket. I'd probably go with the Lions, but it's hard because I'd love it a lot more at 2.5. 4.5. It is.
Yep.
But maybe that's telling us something. That's where it's accurately. We talked about it. That's where it's accurately supposed to be priced. Give me the Lions -4.5. 52 is the F it pick. Ev, do the F it fireball. Sometimes you got to say F it. Ev, give us the F it fireball pick.
We're gonna free your fire today, fellas. The F it pick of the day. Best shot in the U.S. Zach Gallen and the Arizona Diamondbacks +160 today on the road. Best pitcher in baseball, getting +160. What are they doing? I will ride this until the wheels fall off. The F it pick of the day. Shout out Fireball, Cinnamon Whiskey, Arizona Diamondbacks +160. Shout out Zach Gallen.
For all of those people who hate baseball, just trust us tonight. Watch Zach Gallen against Verlander. It's going to be a work of art.
His last start,
6.5.
he left the game against. He threw 8.
The game might take an hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah, an hour, a baseball game. K. I had an extra case, Rico. I had an extra case.
I went like this. This is just strikes. That's a strike call. Strike, punch out. That's where we're going. It's going to be a great game. Let's move through these quick and then get the picks. So I Colts -3 against the Titans is a stay away for me. I probably would lean the Titans.
Yep.
Dallas -3 against the Commanders. I love Dallas. Dallas is straight. Yeah.
Contrarian. This is a contrarian feel.
I got it. And the money's probably going to be on Dallas after what we saw.
It's just a classic. Commanders, they're not as bad as they looked against the Eagles. They looked awful. I think it's a bounce back contrarian.
Arizona +1.5 would be my pick against the Panthers.
Probably mine too, but it's a tough one.
Akers bad.
I like Arizona on the road better than I do at home.
I'll say Arizona is eventually due to do the video game offense sooner or later. Maybe it's this week. They gotta score some. They've looked like shit all year. They did
a little bit the second half against the Raiders.
Against the Raiders.
But no, I like the Cardinals here too.
I like the Cardinals. Raiders -2.5 against the Broncos. It has to be the Raiders.
I kind of think so too. This is the game desperate. Absolutely, positively desperate.
The Raiders defense will make
also,
you look good,
they
but
play
the Broncos
well.
offense is so
This team,
bad.
they play well against Denver too.
Packers -9.5 against the Patriots. I could see the Patriots weirdly covering, but it's a huge number. Packers they should smoke them. That would be my.
This is the one spot where, with Aaron Rodgers, I'll be square. Packers. I just think the Patriots aren't that good.
Sunday night, Chiefs, Bucks. I know Brady hasn't been great in primetime, right? Is that a thing?
No, I mean not particularly, but I'll take the Bucks.
I kind of like the Chiefs in a bounce back.
That's two.
And then, like you touched on Monday night, 49ers minus 2.5 against the Rams.
Yeah, I like the Niners.
Yeah, it makes sense. Picks real quick. I'm on the Braves, Nats over 8.5. Go back to the well. I'll take the Orioles minus 103, and I'll do a parlay. Verlander and Gallen K's over both of them. It's 5.5 and 6.5, and it's plus 210. Ev.
Yeah, I'm on the Yankees Blue Jays over 7.5. Like I gave out the effort pick of the day, the D-backs plus 160, and the Padres tonight with Musgrove plus 120.
He hasn't been great though.
I'm a believer in him. I think he's very good. Also, I don't think they just play those good games with Dodgers. Beat them last night in a crazy marathon game. Go back to them plus 120 again. They're still fighting for their lives. Dodgers got nothing to play for.
That's a fight for their lives too. It's gonna be an interesting race. All right, that's Pick Central. Back tomorrow. Yak's up next.